What's going on, my fellow A-Plusers? Welcome back once again to a brand new episode of A-Plus Morphinominal, your weekly stop for your Power Rangers, Super Sentai, Kamen Rider review and news right here on our YouTube page, A-Plus Morphinominal. It is I, your Morphinominal host, Adam Perez, back once again, kicking off our Saturday the right way, ladies and gentlemen. Listen, a little bit of a bummer because of the fact that we clearly don't have a brand new Dino Fury episode today, which honestly makes no sense to me. Nickelodeon hiatuses, breaks in between, right? Kids' Choice Awards is today, yet for some reason, Dino Fury doesn't get the opportunity to play at like 7 o'clock in the morning, 8 o'clock in the morning, some places. I don't know. I don't know what to tell you guys. But listen, I'm not going to let you go by a Saturday without talking some Power Rangers. So we're definitely going to go ahead and get into it this morning, ladies and gentlemen. So thank you very much for joining us here this afternoon, wherever you certainly are coming from. So thank you very much, guys. Let's see who's in the live chat with us real quick before we get our show started. You guys know I love to give you guys some shout outs for waking up and getting your day ready to go and coming out here and joining us. Johnny's in the house. What's up, Johnny? Get him a body bag. Yeah. Good to see you, man. We got Frankie in the house. What's up, Frankie? I'm handsome. I'm pretty sure you are. Good to see you in here. Power Rangers Legacy, you know what time it is. It's morphin' time, and we're about to get into it, ladies and gentlemen. I'm so pumped today. Adrian Perez, brother from another mother. Muy bien, my friend. Muy bien. Thank you. By the way, I don't speak Spanish. I know like Piquito. My girlfriend is Mexican. She needs to start hopefully speaking some Spanish to me. She does a little bit. I need to get better about it. Honestly, I'm picking it up. Dino Fury certainly in the house. Also, we got Frankie. What's up, Frankie? Appreciate you stopping by today, man. Matthew's in the house. What's up today? AJ, what's going on, man? He says, Adam, say it, please. Dino Knights, fight for your rights. You know, if Dino Knights was gonna be the name of this Hasbro season of Power Rangers, I'm telling you, there's money in that catchphrase, guys. There's money in that catchphrase. Maybe I'll put it on a T-shirt or something like that if they're not gonna take advantage of it. Who else we got in here? Let's see. Sunny, what's up, Sunny Shields? Not sure if I've seen you in here before, but thank you very much for gracing us with your presence today, as always. Shadow Nova Productions in the house. Good seeing you, buddy. Maurice is in here as well. Blossom, hello, L'Oreal. Thank you for coming through today. Isaiah's in the house also. Doomsday, good to see you, man. Happy Saturday to you too. Thank you very much. Sir Rob's in the house. Captain RGD, won't the Green Ranger body look male like Yellow Rangers usually do? I mean, if you're really that worried about it, we'll tackle it today for you, Captain. Don't worry about that, sir. Let's see here. Who else we got? Another production company, Edward Sanchez. What's up, man? Thank you very much for certainly seeing you. Hi, Mom. Yeah, hopefully somebody teaches me Spanish. Not you, Mom. Thanks a lot. No, I'm just kidding. I know you don't speak Spanish, so I will. I will eventually learn, I promise. I'm like 38. Can somebody learn a new language at like 40? I'm pretty sure that they can. I just got to go ahead and make sure I focus for sure. But regardless, guys, I appreciate seeing all of you here today. JB says, what is in the house also. So thank you very much, guys. Listen, you know, despite the fact of not having a brand new Dino Fury episode today, we definitely have a few things of Dino Fury that we're definitely going to be talking about today, guys. So definitely go ahead and strap yourselves in. And if you guys are in the live chat, you know how we like to do around here. If you continue to come back week after week and you're in the live chat, hit that thumbs up button, guys. Give us that big like button. It definitely goes a long way in YouTube recognizing our work. So thank you very much. And it's a certain way for you to go ahead and support the channel, honestly. And if you do want to support the channel in other ways and continue to help see us grow, just so you guys are aware, just to get some business out of the way, we do have ourselves a Patreon account. If you want to go ahead and check it out, it's at patreon.com/A+opinions. You can go ahead and check it out if you'd like to. We have, you know, if you go over to our Patreon, you get not only access to one YouTube channel, but two as well over from A+ Hero Report if you're a big Marvel and DC fan. We've got some great exclusive content, some great early access content. We got a Discord community there. Also, we provide audio files for all of our videos. Also, some really great benefit, guys, if you want to go ahead and check it out. We got a $1 tier, $5 tier, and of course, a $10 tier as well. But if you can't support us that way, that's certainly more than fine. We certainly would appreciate it. Again, if you hit that like button or continue to share and certainly subscribe to the channel, guys, it definitely all goes a long way for sure. And if we have any stragglers that wind up joining us today, definitely go ahead and make everybody certainly feel welcome and a part of the group. Jaden says, you're 38. Yeah, don't be, listen, look, I'm half Puerto Rican, half black. I know they say black don't crack, but don't let the gray hairs on here fool you whatsoever. You know, I try and stay handsome. I try and stay up to date. But yes, no, I being honest and humble, yes, I am 38. So I know it tends to surprise a lot of people. But yes, Tony Robinson's in the house. What's up, Tony? Good to see you in here as well. Let's see here. And I think that might be all the new people for right now. But yes, as anybody winds up coming through, definitely go ahead and get your thoughts out if you'd like to. Certainly make everybody feel welcome. And if you do have a live viewer question, because you guys know we love to tackle live viewer questions at the end of our episodes, feel free to go ahead and submit them over at any time today. APlusMorePhenomenal at gmail.com. Again, that's APlusMorePhenomenal at gmail.com. You can submit them over throughout the entire week. If you see a story or you watch an episode that kind of strikes a question that you want to go ahead and throw my way, certainly feel free to go ahead and submit those over. Again, APlusMorePhenomenal at gmail.com. It'll guarantee that your question gets answered live on air, just in case if I happen to miss you guys or miss your comments and things like that in the live chat. We've actually been getting quite busy lately. I really appreciate all the turnout each and every week, guys. So sometimes it is difficult for me to jump back into the comments as much as I certainly used to. As we continue to grow, we have more questions to certainly answer, but I really do appreciate you guys certainly coming through. All right, guys. Other than that, let's go ahead and dive into our first topic. And the first topic is one that I think we're really looking forward to. Again, while we have no Dino Fury episode this week, we do have another one next week titled Dino Fury. I think it's called New Recruits, if I'm not mistaken. I think we're all under the impression that New Recruits means we're finally going to be getting ourselves the Green Ranger and the Black Ranger in Chance, Perez, and Tessa playing their significant roles, and Izzy along with Javi, the two siblings of the group. It's been great so far getting the opportunity to have our first 3 episodes truly just focus on Zato, Amelia, and Ollie to truly get used to those particular characters, see their chemistry, and now we're going to be introduced to brand new characters also. But one of those characters, I should say one of those actors that is certainly grabbing a lot of people's attention as of right now is in fact Tessa Rao. And one of the reasons why she's garnering such attention is because of the fact that she will officially be the first female Green Ranger of the franchise. Can you guys believe that? I mean, 28 years of Power Rangers right now. This will be our first female Green Ranger. You know, Tessa definitely feels as though she definitely has a lot of big shoes to fill. Definitely excited to see what she's going to be bringing to us, to certainly say the least. And listen, we've been teased about Tessa for quite some time, right? We've been getting ourselves some fantastic sort of set photos and things like that, promotional photos of seeing Tessa as the Green Ranger in here, getting ready to be as competitive as can be, looking fantastic in her costume as well. So Tessa Rao is really set to go ahead and make some fantastic waves when it comes to Power Rangers Dino Fury. And so I thought it would be pretty cool because of the fact that Screen Rant actually had the opportunity this week to sit down with Tessa Rao and really just talk to her a little bit about just the significance of her being a Green Ranger. And I just want to go ahead and share some of these comments that Tessa Rao had to talk with Screen Rant about today. So let me go ahead and pull up this article for you guys, and let's go ahead and see what they're certainly talking about here. So it says, Power Rangers Dino Fury actress excited to be the first female Power Ranger. She says Green Ranger. It says Power Rangers Dino Fury star Tessa Rao reveals she's excited about being the first female Green Ranger. It says the newest season of Power Rangers show is called Dino Fury and premiered in February of 2021. It follows a new team of heroes powered by dinosaurs who come together to take on aliens. A trailer released in September 2020 revealed the return, I should say, of the Dinozords, with the cast announcements coming soon after. Dino Fury features red, pink, blue, and black Rangers. However, the Green Ranger, played by Rao, is receiving a lot of attention as it's the first time that Ranger has been portrayed by a female. So it says Screen Rant spoke to Rao about her role in Dino Fury, and she says she's incredibly excited to play the Green Ranger. This is what she says. It says, this is the question. It says, Tessa, it's so cool that we're getting our first female Green Ranger. Can you talk to me about that experience? And she says, yes, I'm going to be honest with you. I didn't realize when I first got the role that was the case. When I found out, I was quite shocked and incredibly honored and incredibly excited. I just think representation is so important across the board, whether it's gender, ethnicity, sexuality, or whatever it is. Representing different communities is really important for the viewers to be able to see themselves in different characters. And it's really exciting to me that I've been given the opportunity to hopefully be that representation for many, for maybe some girls out there that quite like the color green or always wanted to be green and didn't feel that they could be, or whatever it was. It means a lot to me, and I hope I do it justice. And it says, considering the Power Ranger franchise has existed since the 90s, it is a bit surprising that there hasn't been a female Green Ranger yet. Too often, female Ranger viewers were expected to like the Pink Ranger best, despite there being no real reason for it. Rao makes a great point about the importance of showing young girls in particular that they can just as easily identify with the Green Ranger. Instead, it's clearly this important step towards representation in the Power Rangers franchise isn't lost on the actress. And hopefully with more projects on the way, hopefully this will push for inclusion to continue in the future. And I thought it was a really great message that Tessa Rao was certainly giving everybody. Really the idea that the importance of representation. I mean, we've talked about this before, right? Power Rangers, ever since the 90s, has always been sort of that focal point and that torchbearer, if you will, for representation, peoples of different colors and things like that, right? Everybody, when you watch Power Rangers, it doesn't matter what season you might have watched or whatever the case may be, I'm pretty sure you could probably find yourself in one of these colors, to certainly say the least. And I've always loved that about Power Rangers, just the inclusion that it certainly provides, and really the ability to be able to, for kids and for young adults to be able to see themselves as bigger, whether that be on the TV screen or on the movie screen, right? We all want to see ourselves in some way or another as superheroes, and to be able to see ourselves represented on the big screen kind of gives us hope a little bit that we can too achieve fantastic things, right? We may not be superheroes per se, but we can also be heroes in our own lives and use some of the messages and the things like that that they really tell us in Power Rangers and showcase to us with their diversity and inclusion for us to help us be just better people in general and really learn to accept people overall. So I love the fact that Tessa, while she didn't understand or at least realize the importance of the role that she certainly has, now that she certainly sees it, she definitely sees it as a fantastic way of representing just different communities in general. And so I just thought that was a really great article from Screen Rant for them to go ahead and talk about, because look, guys, let's not sugarcoat this a little bit here. Being the first female Green Ranger is massive. Okay, it's massive in its own right, and the reason why I say that is simply because of the fact that, I mean, guys, let's talk a little bit about just some of the Green Rangers of the past, if you will, right? Like when you think of Green Rangers, there's a Hall of Fame list of Rangers that Tessa is officially just going to be in, right? Like Tessa's already in the Green Ranger Hall of Fame, just being the first female Ranger to kind of pave the way for other female Green Rangers in the future. Really goes a long way, and honestly automatically sort of puts her in this Hall of Fame. I'm really excited to kind of see what Tessa's definitely going to go ahead and bring for us. But guys, just for scope and scale, let's just showcase exactly who Tessa Rao is going to be included with in the future now, okay? And granted, this isn't all the Green Rangers, but just some honorable mentions that we can throw out here, okay? You know, you might have heard of a guy named Bridge, maybe. I don't know. Maybe he's some of your guys' favorite character, right? We've got Joel here also from Lightspeed Rescue, who certainly came through. Hector from Samurai, if you recall, also a fantastic Green Ranger in his own right. Really great person too. We got Xander. I know a ton of people love them some Xander, especially after him coming back in Operation Overdrive, right? Fantastic, fantastic character over in Mystic Force. One of my favorites just because of the comedy factor already, Ziggy. I mean, come on. I'm sure there's a ton of people out there that absolutely love Ziggy as well. We've got Cam, another fantastic Green Ranger. Badass suit, if you ask me, from Ninja Storm. Really love what Cam wound up bringing to that season, honestly. And then just some of, I don't know, you know, some of the best OG Green Rangers ever. Maybe Adam, right? Let's not forget Adam was a Green Ranger for a period of time as well. And then, of course, the amazing Tommy Oliver himself. And granted, while I'm not tackling every Green Ranger, right? There's also Carlos. There's also Jake from from State Farm. No, from from Megaforce. But then of course we've got Tommy Oliver here as well. Just the OG in regards to like the pinnacle of Green Rangers. So Tessa Rao gets the opportunity to join all these fellas here in this sort of Hall of Fame, if you will. Maybe they're not all Hall of Fame level stuff. I mean, I'm sure some of you guys will probably want to make some pushes for some of these Green Rangers that maybe belong in the Hall of Fame. But there's quite a few in here that are certainly impressive and definitely left their impact sort of on the franchise. So to be able to go into that tier of color scheme for Power Rangers and be the first of your kind, I think is absolutely incredible, and I'm really excited to kind of see what Tessa Rao does with this role. Just seeing some of the clips and her going into one of these races and stuff, it definitely feels like maybe there's a little bit of an edge, a little bit of a competitive side to her also. So I'm really excited to kind of see how her personality really bounces off the other Rangers, and really to see what her chemistry is going to be like with her own brother here in Chance. I really want to see if that sibling connection certainly comes across on screen, and how well they certainly do together. So I'm excited for this. I think this puts Tessa in a fantastic position. And I know a ton of people that are certainly excited to certainly see her in that position also. And can we just say, listen, when it comes to the Green Ranger stuff, if you guys recall, I know a lot of us don't necessarily want to rewind back to this particular moment, but you remember the legendary battle, right? Or the legendary fail, as some fans certainly go on to call it. Do you guys recall leading up to that legendary battle that we had a ton of behind the scenes photos that were coming out from it, from JDF himself, showcasing a lot of behind the scenes photos of him with other Rangers. And if you recall, he had a fantastic photo that he put together with Hector, giving Hector the opportunity to go ahead and wear the shield, wear the shield itself, sort of thing. I personally would love it if JDF, if he certainly hasn't already, to eventually maybe reach out to Tessa at some particular point in time and just maybe welcome her to the group, from one OG to another first, if you will, to be, who knows, maybe at one point in time, Tessa will find herself rocking a green shield also, or maybe a crossover between these two. I mean, I would absolutely love to see Tessa rocking that green shield. And honestly, I do think that Tessa would honestly love it also. I mean, she looks fantastic. Probably the best wink in the industry, if I could just be perfectly honest. But I'm really looking forward to kind of see what something like, if something like this is really going to have a shakeup or an impact on the franchise, certainly going forward. So JDF, I don't know if you watched the show or not, but hopefully, I just hope at some point in time, JDF, if it's not at the beginning of her appearance, maybe after this season has certainly wrapped, after he's seen exactly what she maybe brings to the Green Rangers, what she brings to the franchise, what she brings to the show specifically, I just think it would be cool for him to kind of, just give a shout out to the first female sort of Green Ranger, you know what I mean? Just to recognize her for just being able to continue to break barriers and continue to showcase inclusion and diversity in Power Rangers at some point in time. Not forcing it, clearly not forcing it, but I just feel like JDF is probably such a cool guy in real life, probably recognizes things like that, a meeting between those two, or at least a recognition from one of the OG Rangers, OG original Green Rangers, to one of our newest female ones, I think would be really fantastic. But regardless if it happens or not, Tessa Rao's a placement in Green Ranger history will forever be graved in stone, if you will, as of episode 4, New Recruits. So, and it's crazy to even think that this wasn't even like, I don't even think this was their first choice. Remember, we had Alexandra Nunez that was supposed to be a Green Ranger. Unfortunately, just did not get that opportunity. And Tessa wind up stepping in and just absolutely killing it. And they really clearly liked what they saw. And now they have Tessa Rao on board. And now she's about to go ahead and make some waves in Power Rangers. And for that alone, I'm really excited to kind of see what she brings up. But the article also goes on and talks a little bit about the idea of maybe, just maybe, the idea of this opening doors for maybe other firsts when it comes to Power Ranger franchise. Now, I know that we've had an LGBTQ represented Ranger in Power Rangers, the movie, in the 2017 film in Trini, played by Becky G, if I recall. But I don't believe we've ever had one on the show, or at least one that would come out. So, who's to say that maybe Dino Fury doesn't tackle that, right? Whether it be Tessa or Amelia, we certainly don't know what the fate of those characters certainly are as the season progresses. But for me, when I think of this, I'm really hoping that now that we have a first female Green Ranger and people start seeing the excitement that the franchise and the fandom certainly has towards new opportunities when it comes to this type of thing, I'm really hoping that Hasbro and say like a Jonathan Entwistle are certainly paying attention to things like this, right? I've been saying this before, and I know a lot of you guys have been really screaming for a female Red Ranger. And I am kind of hoping that with Tessa sort of breaking this barrier of being the first female Green Ranger, that maybe they can now give us our first female Red Ranger. And now, listen, I know we've had female Red Rangers before, but I'm talking about a leader. I'm talking about someone that's going to be there from beginning to end to carry this group, if you will, right? I mean, you recall A Squad Red Ranger, right? Female, only in there a couple cameos, you know what I'm saying? We've had Lauren Sheba from Samurai. Fantastic. I love Lauren. Like, damn, if I could have more Lauren, I think that would be fantastic. I love the fact that they wind up using Lauren in the Boom Studios comic books, but we really didn't see her used to her fullest potential in the television show. So I think the idea of a female Red Ranger is upon us. And a part of me is really hoping that Jonathan Entwistle and Brian Edward Hill and Hasbro are clearly hopefully paying attention to the massive uproar and enthusiasm that Tessa Rao is bringing to the franchise as the first female Ranger, Green Ranger, and maybe they kind of carry over that momentum and realize, you know what? Maybe it's about time that we pull this trigger, guys. Maybe it's about time we start really giving females a chance to be represented sort of as the leaders of our team, right? I mean, Jen from Time Force, even though the fact that she certainly was a Pink Ranger, I think a lot of us certainly looked at her very much as the leader of that team. Well, you know what? Now it's time to go ahead and slap some red on that and let a female certainly represent Power Rangers certainly going forward, or at least maybe for our next sort of iteration. Now, I've talked about it before very openly. We did actually go ahead and do ourselves a fan casting for the upcoming Jonathan Entwistle Power Ranger movie. We did go ahead and do that. I will put a link in the description box below for you guys if you want to go ahead and tackle that episode of ours also. But one of the things that I highlighted in that particular video was the idea that I want my Red Ranger to be female, whether that be in the movies and maybe that cast gets sent over to actually have a television series of their own. I think this is a great momentum to start following here. Tessa as the first female Green Ranger, and then hopefully Jonathan Entwistle and Brian Edward Hill and the rest of Hasbro will maybe give us our first female Red Ranger as a full-time leader for an upcoming team. So I just feel like we're going in that direction right now. Hollywood's opening their eyes a little bit more. TV is opening its eyes a little bit more, understanding the importance of diversity. The idea that while we're not trying to keep the gentlemen from having these jobs, you know what I'm saying? We're not trying to keep the gentlemen from having these jobs. We're just trying to open up more places for people of color or your sexuality to certainly be represented on the big screen or the small screen. There's room for everybody, guys, and there's enough talent and creativity out there in the world to be able to create something for everybody. And so I'm really eager, and I'm really hoping that this is just going to start bringing in a ton more changes when it comes to Power Rangers going forward. I love what they're doing, don't get me wrong, but it's definitely time that we continue to really push that diversity and inclusion. So one of the reasons why I love Power Rangers and continue to support it year after year, just because of the fact that they understand its importance. They understand its importance, and I definitely appreciate that. But guys, listen, Tessa Rao, our first female Green Ranger, about to make history, joining the Green Ranger Hall of Fame, attached to some fantastic names that we certainly went down the list and talked about a little bit. We'll see exactly where her legacy is certainly going to lie after Dino Fury winds up airing. But at the end of the day, guys, I definitely want to go ahead and know your thoughts in regards to this. How excited are you? I know some people, before we even wrap this up, I'm Captain RGD. I'm glad you brought it up. The idea of, let me see if I can pull that question back. The idea of, let me see, where did it go, Captain? I think I had it up here. Won't the Green Ranger body look male like the Yellow Rangers usually do? Again, I think it had a lot to do with how much original footage are they going to be using for Tessa Rao in the Green Ranger? From the first 3 episodes of Dino Fury, I think they've done a marvelous job of incorporating a lot more original footage than Super Sentai. I mean, you can clearly see it's in there, but I am wondering when it comes to Tessa if they're going to be a little bit more particular about how they utilize Super Sentai footage and original footage. When we first started talking about the cast, right? I remember talking about Russell Curry, and I remember saying to myself, you know what? I don't know if Hasbro even cares about stature or size, right? Because we've seen Power Rangers do this before. The idea of, you get an actor, but his Super Sentai counterpart is like taller, right? So when he morphs, you can clearly see like the height change and stuff, right? And I said at the beginning when we got our speculations for who the cast members were going to be, if Hasbro cares about stature and finding an actor that fits that Ranger size, Russell Curry would be a fantastic Bomba. He would be a fantastic Black Ranger, because the Black Ranger in the Real Soldier Super Sentai adaptation was bigger. He was an older guy. He was a little bit thicker gentleman, a bigger stature. And I felt Russell Curry would fit that role perfectly. But that's clearly not what Hasbro was going for, right? Hasbro clearly does not care so much about stature so much as it does just maybe what type of performance are you going to bring to us, right? How are you going to help us carry this storyline to make it believable and enjoyable for the Rangers? A Chance, I don't know how big Chance Perez is, but I don't think he's as big as Russell. And I definitely don't think he's as big as the actor that played Bomba, right? But Chance has an opportunity to be a Ranger. I don't see other people complaining about, well, Chance is taller or he's not as big as Bomba, so how is he going to play the Black Ranger? It's the same thing with Tessa Rao. She's a female. The character in Real Soldier was a male. How is she gonna? How are they gonna do it? They clearly do not matter. And honestly, I don't think it matters. There are certain fights, there are certain things when it comes to Power Rangers that I'll fight for if I feel really passionate about. Unfortunately, this one just isn't it for me. Like, this isn't a sword that I feel like falling on, if you will, right? My thing is, I get the idea that sometimes it can be jarring. Sometimes like, oh, wait a minute, that stunt person looks like a guy. But like, if you're watching the episode and you see it, like, the one thing that I would ask people to do is don't even worry about it. Like, don't even worry about it. Go into this episode and just enjoy it for what it is. Enjoy the storytelling, enjoy the characters, right? Keep your mind off of how are they going to use footage. Just enjoy the episode itself. And as you're enjoying the episode, just see if you even notice or if you even recognize this. I mean, look, if you watch the episode and it happens and all of a sudden you're like, I can't take it. If your body has that sort of reaction that it just cannot deal with the paradox, boobs, no boobs. Like, if your mind just can't grasp that and it really bothers you, then I get it. But if your body's not reacting like that, it shouldn't be a problem. It shouldn't be a problem. We watch Power Rangers because we have imaginations, or at least I like to think that we certainly have imaginations. Roll with it. You know what I'm saying? Use your imagination fluidly. Just enjoy the episode for what it is. Because outside of that, I just don't see it being that big of a deal. And I'm sure for some people it is. For me, though, unfortunately, it's just not. I'm excited to see what Tessa Rao is going to bring as the character. I'm excited to see her chemistry with her brother. If Warden Buzzkill is in fact her father, and really how she's going to get along with the rest of the team. And I'm going to allow Simon Bennett and his writers to certainly do their thing. And when I go in, again, Dino Fury has had me expecting more original footage than anything else. So I think I'm going to trust the process of our showrunners and our cast and crew and see what they put together for us when it comes to how they execute the Green Ranger. But I don't think it's going to be as startling as some people certainly think that it's going to be. So we'll see. Again, if you have crazy reactions to seeing it, then I get it. But I don't think anybody will. And because of the fact that I don't think people will, I don't think we should worry about it so much. I think we should just roll with it, guys. Let's use our imagination. We're grown-ass people watching a kid's show. I think we can suspend our disbelief for quite some time. And Simon Bennett has said it before in his interviews. The morphing grid does crazy things, right? It changes your body physically when you're in the morphing grid. Perfect example, Justin, right? Homeboy was a kid, turned to a grown-ass man. Anything is possible when it comes to the morphing grid. Not saying that Tessa Rao turns into a guy, but I'm just saying, right? Use your imagination. Use your imagination. And again, that's not strictly to you, Captain RGD. It's just strictly to people that really are concerned or it truly bothers them that much. Just the idea. Roll with it, guys. Let's use our imagination. I think we could do that and suspend disbelief. And I think the moment that we do is the moment that we enjoy and love Power Rangers even more than we certainly did before. And what Dino Fury has been giving us the first 3 episodes so far have been so rock solid. Really, really great work so far. I'm really eager to see what they wind up having for the remainder of the season. And I do think Chance Perez and Tessa Rao are going to have really big roles to certainly play going forward. So I'm excited for the ladies of Dino Fury. Amelia's been crushing it. Her enthusiasm, like very much an audience point of view sort of enthusiasm attached to her. And I'm really excited to kind of see what Tessa Rao is going to bring also. So Tessa, congratulations on being the first female Green Ranger. Definitely look forward to not only your Dino Fury career, but your career certainly going forward also. And guys, go ahead and check out her website whenever you can. She's got a fantastic demo reel on there. Really shows just her range, her comedic timing. She seems like she's fantastic to hang out with and just funny as all hell. But yeah, go ahead and show Tessa Rao some love. Yeah, I guess we'll see her in next week's episode. So yeah, let me know what you guys think in the live chat or the comment section box below. Do you guys think that the Green Ranger footage is it going to jar you out of being able to focus on the episode? Are you perfectly okay with how the idea of a female Green, despite the fact that the Super Sentai counterpart was male? And then go ahead and shower Tessa Rao with some love if you certainly can sometime this week for sure. All right, guys, I will jump into the live comments real quick just for a little bit to see what some of you guys are saying. Blossom said, you had me at Adam Park as a Green Ranger. Adam is like so hot. Yeah, he is. Listen, he's an OG. Some people would rank him up there as an OG for sure. Like just incredible for sure. I do love me some Adam Park, man. I really do. Putting your life on the line, right, to use your damaged power coin. Damn, man, that takes some balls. Adrian, he says, I'm all about representation. Imagine if Saban still owned Power Rangers, he would say no and make Dino Fury green and guy as usual. So thank you, Hasbro and Simon. And listen, I don't know if that would have been the case. Certainly possible, Adrian. I'm not going to put it past them at all, but I do appreciate Simon and Hasbro for understanding the climate that we live in today, right? Again, not that Power Rangers has had to change so much, because they have given us a great sort of things of diversity. Like, this isn't me crapping on Power Rangers. Like, you guys have failed us for 25 years. No, but we're definitely, the climate is changing. The world is changing. People are getting more equal representation. So why not? Why not at this point? Let the floodgates open. And I'm hoping that the casting here of Tessa Rao is definitely that. Shadow Nova says there's been a female for every color now. The main ones, that is. Yes, absolutely, absolutely. So hopefully we'll start seeing some of our female Power Ranger fans rocking some green Dino Fury hoodies or rocking that green color more often. Let's see here. Sunny says, I'm hyped for Tessa. She seems like she has some cool vibes and her character looks badass. Yeah, I do think she looks pretty badass in that costume. I really do. I'm excited to kind of see what she has in store for us. Let's see here. Oh, JT Lewis. What's up, JT Lewis? I appreciate that. He says, I don't know how people get so uptight about it when the series has lots of precedents for gender bending. Yeah, I sometimes I wonder if people just tend to have like amnesia or lapses of memory loss to the idea of understanding that there has been precedents before. To this day, I don't think people are going back talking about Trini and the Yellow Ranger, right? We just accepted it. And even when we did find out the case, we still just accepted it. So I think we could just still accept this also, and just see just the impact that it's definitely going to have on a lot of people out there. Because listen, and I wonder if sometimes just maybe as guys, maybe we don't understand the full impact that it has sometimes when it comes to females or anything like that. Like, I think back to like Brie Larson playing Captain Marvel, and I just remember a lot of people just throwing a ton of hate over at Brie Larson all the time. She's been pretty outspoken and she stands up for what she believes, and I definitely respect her for that. But people have bashed somebody like Brie Larson. She's gotten the opportunity to be the first female-led superhero in Marvel, at least, to get their own solo film, right? Just destroying box office and being an inspiration to girls. And it's just funny to me because I see Brie Larson out and she does these press tours and she goes to these red carpets and stuff. And there are a bunch of just little girls out there just dressed up as Captain Marvel, man. And I think her message and her representation just goes such a long way, farther along than I think we, even as fans to this fandom, maybe even recognize the impacts that being a first in whatever the case may be really does have on your community and the population and stuff. So while we may think to ourselves like this is a small little fandom here, the idea of Tessa Rao being a first female Green Ranger just means that there are going to be a bunch of little girls out there that feel like they can be a Green Ranger and start buying some Green Ranger costumes for Halloween and start rocking the color green and feeling represented on the small screen. And so again, I just think sometimes it's harder as us as outsiders that maybe don't fully understand, or maybe we understand when it's our time a little bit. But it's, for me, it's fantastic to see the impact that first wind up having on communities. And so I'm really excited to see what Tessa Rao's gonna bring to it. Johnny says, I can't wait to see Izzy and Javi's debut next week. Me either. I'm kind of curious to see how they're going to be introduced to us. Do they already have Ranger keys, right? Have they been scoping out the Dino Henge on occasion prior to this? How are they going to bump into our Rangers, right? I'm really eager to see how they get thrown in there. Marcelino says, do you think Izzy and Javi will become Power Rangers in episode 4 or become Rangers later on and it's just their debut? That's a good question. The way that they've kind of told the story seems like, I don't want to say it's a slow burn a little bit, right? But we saw Amelia and Ollie become blue and pink Rangers in their very first episode, but they didn't start actually training until the second one. If I had to pick, I would say yes. I would say that they would become Power Rangers on their first episode. JT Lewis says, yeah, Trini, Taylor, Katie, Kelsey, Maya, we all got over it. I love it, Jay. Raphael says, hopefully in the future we can get our first trans ranger, any color. It'll be interesting to see if we can, Raphael. Again, the idea that they are, at least they have represented the LGBT community in the Power Ranger movie in 2017. I think that alone opens up the opportunity for them to tackle other aspects of that in future movies or future television shows. We'll just see what they have in store for them. All right, guys. I think with that, I think we will go ahead and jump into our next topic then, and then I'll probably jump into some comments if I certainly can. We will continue actually here in the Dino Fury side of things a little bit because even though we don't have a new episode this week, we are getting episode descriptions for future episodes here of Power Rangers. This actually comes to us. I believe this is Ranger Command over on Twitter, posted this about episode 6, the superstition strikes. This feels like an immediate Amelia episode. It says Amelia thinks she's cursed with bad luck and is reluctant to help the Rangers, afraid she'll cause more harm. But when monsters attack the base, she learns the truth about luck. Ooh, interesting. And we did have a couple other episode descriptions. I don't know if we highlighted some of these, honestly, but this is from Kyle. I believe this is over at the Ranger board forum, if I'm not mistaken. Let's see here. Let's see. They have episode number 4, New Recruits. That's going to air on the 20th. Void Knight's new general, Boom Tower, tries to steal a mysterious orb from the city museum. When the Rangers struggle to stop him, they get help from an unexpected source. Interesting. Winning Attitude is March 27th. Izzy is determined to win a big race with the help of her Special Olympics athlete cousin, Lily. Oh, that's pretty cool. After Lily misses a training session and Izzy rejects more help, her sportsmanship is put to the test. Talk about competitive, man. Yeah, Izzy is definitely going to be rather competitive. I'm looking at this New Recruits thing, and it says they get help from an unexpected source. I'm wondering, is that Izzy and Javi? I'm hoping that it certainly is, because episode 5 we get introduced to the idea of Izzy being in a big race, so it feels very much like she's already been introduced to us in this season. But we'll see how that turns out. And then, of course, the Amelia-centric episode for episode number 6, Superstition Strikes, that's going to be on April 3rd. Again, Amelia thinks that she's cursed with bad luck and is reluctant to help the Rangers. Listen, there are plenty of times, because of the fact that she's afraid that she's going to cause more harm, I feel like that's super relatable. For me, at least, sometimes I feel like I got to knock on wood for certain things, or I feel like I'll say something. I'm like, maybe I shouldn't do that. Just because you can kind of get superstitious, and based off of just Amelia's personality already, the fact that she believes in ghosts and supernatural and things like that, this feels like, fortune telling and things like that. This feels like right up her alley. And I am very much wondering if this is going to be another episode where Ollie kind of pushes back a little bit, like pokes a little bit fun about, just her supernatural and superstitious mindset that Amelia definitely has. I'm really eager to kind of see what episode number 6 has. So episode 4, New Recruits, I'm definitely looking forward to it. I'm still trying to figure out when Mick winds up getting into all this. Like, I'm wondering, is it says New Recruits, so I'm assuming that's going to be plural. So I'm assuming also that does mean Javi and Izzy. I don't know where Mick winds up popping up here, but considering the fact that Mick has popped up in a couple of photos already before the season even began, I definitely do think that those are going to be photos from the first half of the season. So I expect Mick to definitely pop up here before the hiatus for this upcoming summer. But yeah, guys, those are the episode descriptions that we wind up getting from Kyle. Definitely go ahead and check those out and let me know what episode really stands out to you out of the new 3 that we're going to be getting here within the next 3 weeks. But the Amelia one sounds like a lot of fun for me, and the Izzy one also, just kind of getting an opportunity to see just that competitive spirit of hers, and seeing how, like, I want to see the fact that she's competitive. I wonder what Chance is doing the entire time. Is Chance just at the race with his guitar playing music, kind of rooting on his sister? I have no idea. I am really fascinated to kind of see where Chance fits into all this, but the ladies getting some shine within the first 6 episodes, man. Really planting their flag and showcasing what they're capable of doing here in Dino Fury. So I'm really looking forward to it. But yeah, guys, let me know what's out of all this. Out of all the descriptions, really jumps out at you. What's your next sort of group of episodes or episode that you're really looking forward to when it comes to Dino Fury? And speaking of Dino Fury, I wish I had this guy on as a guest, but oh, hey, what's up, Simon? Good to see you, buddy. Simon Bennett, ladies and gentlemen, this past week, he's been flooding the internet, guys, especially if you've been following him on his IG page. He's been giving us a fantastic sort of behind the scenes look at a ton of great images as production winds up, or I should say production, like pre-production, I should say, on the couple of sets and things like that. Costume designs really started kind of taking shape before Dino Fury ends. I will put a link in the description box below, because the photos that I'm going to show you come directly from Simon Bennett's IG page at Pukina. I could be completely butchering that name, but again, I will put his IG information in the description box below for you guys. But Simon Bennett has been highlighting some fantastic things over the past couple of days, and I really wanted to go ahead and highlight to some of these to your guys. You know, one of the really great designs that I've seen so far this season has in fact been the Sporex. I've absolutely loved what they look like, especially once you start adding some of the digital effects to it. But Simon Bennett highlighted the actual design for the Sporex itself. I'm kind of curious if that's actually rather squishy in his hands, or if it's like just a legit rock or design that he's sort of kind of holding up. You know, just based off of the design of the Sporks, when you watch the episode, it looks like it's something that you can just some putty or slime that you could just like pull apart and things like that. It looks gnarly. I really love just the design and the effects that go into the Sporax. They really pop, and they're just creepy and unnerving, but I almost want one at my desk as like a stress ball, you know, just to like squish around and feel through my fingers and stuff, right? Like just some sort of putty or whatever the case may be. But I really hope Hasbro's taking down all my damn ideas. Just all I ask is, Hasbro, just royalty, just a little bit of royalty would be great. Stress balls for work, man. Give me some Sporex to chill out at home while I'm reviewing Power Rangers or something, just to kind of squeeze on. I would absolutely love that. So we have a Sporex behind the scenes here. We even get to see Area 62 a little bit also. I'm still kind of curious as to where this Area 62 is located at. Can we raid it is the question that I have. I am also kind of wondering if this is a nod to maybe a past Power Rangers season that maybe has some connections to maybe a previous villain or a past Rangers or wherever the case may be. I guess maybe the fact that they did such a great job with that in Beast Morphers, maybe I'm going into Dino Fury thinking like it's all connected. There's got to be Easter eggs in here somewhere. I have no idea, but I love just the original design for Area 62 along with the Sporex jukebox, which really Void Knight's Sporex machine in general. But it looks fantastic nonetheless. One of the great set pieces that I was really impressed with was Buzz Blast. The very first episode, when we get that long tracking unedited shot of Amelia and Jane kind of walking through the offices and the area and things like that, just really kind of show you its scope and size, and to be able to kind of see it from this perspective as it's being built, I thought was rather brilliant. And then we also get the opportunity to see what the command center certainly looks like. Just bare bones, guys, just bare bones, not even fully put together, but look how massive this damn thing is. It is huge.
And that's that's the set itself for like the hangar or wherever the studio that they're building this at is massive. And I love the fact that they really are taking up just a ton of that space to make designs for the command center. I think it's a really cool design, and I love just getting an opportunity to kind of see them put it together. But one of the really impressive things for me when it comes to Dino Fury this season has got to be some of the costume designs. When we first got the opportunity to be introduced to Zolan, I was blown away by the attention to detail. And I love the fact this is the most recent, I believe, behind the scenes photo that Simon Bennett wind up posting, getting to see Solon just from head to toe in their design. And I believe this is the director, Charles Haskell, I believe is his last name. Getting the opportunity to direct Solon and the suit actor that's inside of it also. So really great stuff. And I really expect Simon Bennett, he's probably going to continue to post more of these behind the scenes images for you guys throughout the upcoming weeks. I really have continued to love how Simon Bennett has been really doing his best to kind of keep up with what people are saying about Dino Fury, being very, interactive with the fans for sure, putting his thoughts out there, giving us some information that he can't and some things that he certainly cannot. But I've been loving it. And anytime you get to see a showrunner paying that close attention to its fans and really doing its best to answer whatever questions that he certainly can, that type of stuff just really goes a long way with the fandom. And I think Simon Bennett's just doing a marvelous job as is the showrunner so far, to be perfectly honest with you. So, look, I'm a film and TV guy. I really am. So anytime I get to see behind the scenes stuff, I'm just like giddy like a kid on Christmas. Like, ooh, look how they put all this together, right? It's just the magic of TV and movies to see what something used to be and what they managed to turn it into. It just it's a great example of just talent that this entire crew certainly has on board with it, honestly. So Simon, maybe one day I can have you on the show. Thank you very much for stopping by, and thank you for doing a fantastic job. But yeah, Simon Bennett, ladies and gentlemen, go ahead and give him a round of applause for just popping in here briefly to talk about some of the stuff that he's been highlighting over on Instagram. And I will say this too, guys, because I did run across, I feel like I don't want to do PSAs, public service announcements every once in a while, but there are things that get brought to my attention sometimes when I am on Twitter, just that side of the fandom that sometimes either don't get it or there's a little bit of a disconnect there. I know that we all have an urge to be recognized, whether it be by the actors or the showrunners of the team, whether that be in comments that we make, questions that we put out there, right? But I would just ask that I know that I'm sure the actors appreciate it. I'm sure that they do. I'm sure they enjoy the love that comes their way, but understand these people are people and they're very busy. And they have a job that they have to do. And, they're busting their ass 12 plus hours a day sometimes to go ahead and record and film and voice record, right? And direct and edit and add special effects. So let's give people an opportunity to do their job and not harass people to get back to you or to flood them with a bunch of questions to demand that they sort of answer your stuff. I mean, listen, I know it hurts. I know it sucks sometimes to see somebody get a response from Russell or, oh, Kai responded to them, but, they didn't maybe necessarily respond to your comment or question. It's okay. It's absolutely okay. They're busy. They like what they like. They can respond to what they want to respond to. It's okay. But what's not okay is the idea of when they don't respond to us, that we get mad at them or we harass them or we continue to throw a bunch of questions out at them when they're just doing their job. They don't necessarily owe anything to us. They're already trying to provide us with something absolutely fantastic. And if they can do that, that's all that I certainly want. I want them to pay very close attention to the content that they're certainly putting out there. I just wanted to bring this up because I saw some people commenting about people badgering Simon Bennett and things like that. And, Simon had to come out. I think he said like, hey, I'm busy, I'm filming type of thing. So let's just pump the brakes a little bit. I know we're all super enthusiastic and continue to carry that, but just understand, just be respectful to other people that are out there, especially the cast and crew of Power Rangers, and enjoy what they do provide us with. And when they do, respond back from time to time. Okay. So just a quick little PSA out there, because it's one of those things where Simon Bennett, it seemingly, like, I don't know Simon Bennett as a person. I really don't know him one-on-one at all. So I don't know what his personality is like, but I feel like for the most part, he will respond when he certainly can. The idea of him already being active on social media, I think, is a big win for Power Ranger fans. Let's not run him off, okay? Let's not run him off and have him block people or just not accept messages or whatever the case may be going forward, because we want to be able to shine our fandom in a great light. So let's just be very respectful of all these people that are putting our favorite stuff in fandom together, honestly. But yeah. I just wanted to go ahead and throw that out there. But I'm kind of curious to know what you guys think of some of these behind the scenes photos. Definitely go ahead and let me know your thoughts in regards to that. Let's see here. Do I have another story? I do have one more story for you guys. This is going to be actually a pretty quick one, honestly. But I do want to change our focus from Power Rangers to maybe some tokusatsu for you guys here today, because Kamen Rider has a couple of movies that are in fact set to be released and dropped for you guys. It says, this actually comes to us from jefusion.com, a great Japanese entertainment blog. We're actually affiliated with them. We post a lot of our reviews for Power Rangers along with Zenkaiger and Super Sentai over there as well on jefusion.com. So go ahead and show them some love. Not just Japanese entertainment blog anymore. They are doing more pop culture stuff here over in the US, like Marvel and DC stuff as well. So they're definitely expanding in that route and that right. But this comes to us from jefusion.com. Kamen Rider Saber N01, the movie home video release, has in fact been revealed. I haven't had the opportunity to check out either of these yet, but I know that they certainly were out in cinemas, so we can certainly expect them to be available here to the public rather soon. Let me go ahead and highlight this real quick in case you guys do like to collect your Kamen Rider movies, just so you can have an idea as to when you can expect it. It says, wondering when the home movie version of last year's Kamen Rider Saber and 01 movies will be released? Worry no more, because the official release date for both movies has been revealed along with the box art. Ooh, there's an art. Oh, that's cool. It looks like, wait a minute, is that coming like together as a package? A collector's pack. That's pretty cool. It says it was announced that Kamen Rider Saber's short story, The Phoenix Swordsman and the Book of Ruin, along with Kamen Rider 01, the movie real time collector's pack, will be released on Blu-ray and DVD this April 21st. Stay tuned for more updates about the home release. So it's a collector's pack. That's pretty cool. From one Kamen Rider right into the next one. April 21st is going to be the big day, ladies and gentlemen. So definitely go ahead and check it out. I don't know if it's available for pre-order somewhere, whatever the case may be, but that's pretty neat. So April 21st is the big day, guys. So go ahead and mark your calendars. And of course, we actually do continue to do Kamen Rider Saber reviews here on our channel. Stuart's doing a brilliant job in regards to that. So if you guys are looking for a home for your Kamen Rider reviews, definitely go ahead and check us out. Again, Stuart usually drops them every Tuesday to celebrate Toku Tuesday here with all of our other Super Sentai stuff that we do. So if you are into Kamen Rider Saber, or if you've been impressed, definitely go ahead and subscribe to our page. Go ahead and check out some of our Kamen Rider material. But April 21st, guys, if you want to get the collector's pack for both of these Kamen Rider movies, ladies and gentlemen. And other than that, I think that's actually it for today's show. Let me jump into some of these comments real quick, though, before we get into the live viewer questions to see what some of you guys say. Marcelino says, Area 62 could be Mesogog's old base. You might be onto something there, Marcelino. We'll definitely see. Matthew, what's up, Matthew? He says, in regards to the episode descriptions, I'm super excited for new recruits and superstition strikes. Yeah, those are definitely my two that I'm definitely looking forward to also. Channel of Production says, I think the new recruits will be Javi and Izzy and Boom Tower and possibly Mick. Ooh, that would be crazy if we get 3 brand new recruits on the team of Power Rangers all in one episode. Who knows? Maybe there's a connection between Mick along with Javi and Izzy. AJ feels, though, based off of the description, unexpected source is most likely Mick from Ninja Steel. That's enough. Yeah, when it says unexpected source, I'm like, huh. It says new recruits, so it is plural. But is that unexpected source those recruits, or is it somebody else? I have no idea. I'm really eager to kind of see how this all turns out, honestly. Blossom says, the knock on wood thing, it's like that with me, but I have to sleep with my Sailor Moon locket in Brave Dragon Wonder Book in case I have nightmares. I am kind of curious to see, like, when it comes to Amelia, just how deep her superstitions like really go. Does she knock on wood a lot? Is she even the one that like throws salt behind over their shoulder type of thing? Like, I wonder how deep this really goes. But I do think it's going to be a really eye-opening one for Amelia for sure. AJ says, it's so cool that Simon Bennett is the only Power Ranger showrunner to be interviewed lately by many vlogs and YouTube channels. I don't think Saban or Disney era ever had that opportunity. I feel like Chip Lynn has probably come out and he's done a couple of interviews. I feel like Chip Lynn probably has. Maybe it's been a while though. But, I feel like we get so much information when we go to like these Power Morphicons and things like that, when we have these big panels. But it does feel very like, I don't recall Chip Lynn also being as active on Twitter and things like that, or like you said, YouTube channels and vlogs. Internet sources like news sources, doing sit down interviews with like sci-fi, comicbook.com, that type of stuff. Yeah, I feel like we might have seen like Chip Lynn do that type of stuff. But as far as being active on social media, yeah, it feels like the first for me when it comes to Simon Bennett. I'm just saying we shouldn't take that kind of stuff for granted. You know what I mean? Because we don't get to see that very much. AJ says, doesn't Russell Curry do comedy videos on his Instagram besides rapping? Could that be why Zato has really great comedic moments and charisma? Yeah, absolutely. I've definitely have mentioned that several times here. You can go ahead and check out Russell Curry's website. He's got a great demo deal also, a demo reel also, to go ahead and showcase his range. He's got some great comedy on there. There's one that makes me laugh, just makes me smile just thinking about it, where it's like this he's like this chef, this sensual chef, and it's like his love for cooking, but it's like his love for cooking, like the way that he describes food as he's getting ready to prepare it and stuff, like just hilarious stuff, man. I mean, I feel like Russell honestly can do everything from comedy, rapping, drama. Same thing with Tessa Rao. I mean, she impressed me also in her demo reel also. But yeah, Russell Curry does a ton of stuff. But yeah, he definitely has great comedy. That's why his timing and stuff, as dry and as subtle as it can be, works sometimes, because sometimes it really just takes it's all about delivery and timing. Sarav says those photos really fascinate me a lot. Well, I'm really glad that they do. Again, I've always loved behind the scenes photos. I always thought it was just a great way to go ahead and show you just how talented the crew is, but just the idea of movie magic, seeing what we think is amazing on screen, what it used to look like when it first kind of started out. I think that kind of stuff is really cool to kind of see certain aspects of how everything's built. He says, I love how certain places on a show, a movie, start out as mere constructs. Absolutely. And then you just see what their imagination winds up turning it into. And I think that stuff is just breathtaking, man. AJ says, Hunter went live on Instagram last night, and she says Mucus, aka Crown, is her favorite character right now on Dino Fury. I remember you bringing that up. I did get a notification, but I wasn't able to go ahead and join. But I'm glad. I've been telling you guys since Real Soldier, Bomba and Crayon for me were my favorite characters of the entire season, and to be able to see what they've managed to do with Crayon and turning him into Mucus, great voice acting. You have a boss. I love being given orders. Yeah, like I love that stuff. I think it's just fantastic. I really cannot wait to see what else Mucus winds up. I can't wait to see what Mucus brings us the remainder of the season. Noah, what's up, Noah? Appreciate you coming through today. Thank you very much. Johnny Morero says, so Adam, do you believe Dino Fury could be nominated next year for Kids' Choice Awards? Yes, I do. Whether it be Best Actor, whether it be Best Series, I do expect it to be nominated at least. Whether or not somebody will win, I really don't know. But we've seen Beast Morphers nominated. I believe Abraham was nominated, but I think I don't believe he won though. We're only 3 episodes into Dino Fury, so I'm not expecting it to be nominated for anything really. We haven't really seen too much to be like, yeah, that's award winning. You know what I'm saying? So I want to see what else comes out of it, but I do expect next year for them to be highlighted as far as nominated. Noah says, are you excited for non-kids Power Rangers in 2023 in the movie and the animated series and live action? I'm excited for it. Yeah, I am excited for it. I don't know if we're gonna get all of that in 1 year. I wouldn't be surprised if it's kind of spaced out a little bit more. But the future looks bright. The future definitely looks bright for Power Rangers going forward, man. I'm really excited for it. Trent says, hey, Adam, do you know if they already started filming season 2? COVID puts everything on hold, etc. Just curious how far they are with production. I'm assuming they probably are. If they haven't started season 2 as of yet, maybe they're probably finishing up all of season 1. I do know that their filming does continue though, for sure. They don't really get too many breaks. Outside of maybe COVID restrictions, which I believe they might have had to have done rather recently, if I'm not mistaken. So I think when it comes to Dino Fury, I don't know what their full schedule is like when it comes to filming. Like after they filmed all of season 1, I'm wondering if they have taken a break. I feel like maybe their Christmas break that they wind up taking was their break in between seasons, and they have been focusing on season 2. I'm really not quite sure, Trent, honestly. I'll have to do more research for you, but I do know that they're back filming. Whether or not it's for the conclusion of season 1 into season 2, that I'm not sure. But I do know that after the Christmas break, they did go back to filming. So a part of me is leaning towards the idea that after Christmas, it was maybe more focus on season 2. Yeah, Shadow Nova says it's not going to happen in 2023. We probably won't get new animated stuff for a few years. I don't know what the release schedule is going to be like. We don't even have a release date yet for the movie itself. That type of stuff is very fluid and can kind of change over time. I'm under the impression, though, that we probably won't get any of that stuff until a movie winds up dropping, but I could be wrong. I'm hoping we've got some great announcements here coming in 2021 as to where Power Rangers is going to go in the future. But I don't think we're going to get all of that all in the same year. I mean, we are going to get that. It is going to be, slowly trickled out to us for sure. I don't know if it's all going to hit us in 2023, but there's a plenty when it comes to Power Rangers for us to certainly love, right? Like if you're a fan of the show now, but maybe you want something a little bit more adult, we're going to get a non-kid show, right? If you've been curious about seeing how they dabble or adapt Power Rangers into animation, they're going to provide that for you, right? Voltron is a great Netflix series to kind of look at where animation is being pushed. If you're looking at more CG stuff, Pacific Rim just wind up dropping on there also, which was absolutely brilliant too. So yeah, definitely there's plenty of things that they can certainly highlight. And I'm looking really forward to the movie. If anything, I'm really looking forward to not only getting a release date, but hopefully some casting announcements sooner rather than later, to say the least. So yeah, definitely go ahead and look out for that. All right, let me go ahead and jump into some of your guys' live viewer questions for the day, because I do know that we have quite a few. So let's see what we can kind of get into it. And if we do have some time, we'll definitely go ahead and get back into it. So let's see here. Let me exit out of here and go back into it just to make sure. All right, we got 12 emails today, y'all. Let's go ahead and tackle some of these. This is way back. Why did I miss this question from you? Did I miss this question from you, Jessica? A couple questions from Jessica Friedman. Adam, has production started on the new Power Ranger movie? And would you like to see a LGBTQ Ranger in the new movie and a new TV series? Yes, to both of those, movie or TV. I think would be great. Production has not started on Power Rangers the movie. It's in pre-production. I know Brian Edward Hill is writing the script. Whether or not he's gone through a first draft, second draft, or if it's a final draft that's been delivered. But more pre-production than actual filming for the movie. Let's see here. You also say, hey, Adam, would you like to see Nick air past Ranger seasons like Jetix did back in the day? Would you like to see a female Black or Gold Ranger one day? Give me a Gold Ranger. Give me a Gold Ranger. That would be fucking sweet. I would absolutely love that. As far as Nick airing past Ranger seasons, no, I'm not counting on it. They can barely promote. They can barely promote their Power Rangers now alone. Although they did, somebody recently dropped the Dino Fury toy commercial, didn't they? In regards to the Morpher, was that on Nickelodeon? I just remember the really cool commercial that I saw of like these kids with their dino morphers and then like turning them around or whatever the case may be and throwing some kicks and stuff. I thought that was pretty neat to kind of see those kids having that kind of fun in a commercial. I feel like it's been forever since I've seen a Power Ranger toy commercial, but I believe it was on Nickelodeon. But yeah, for the most part, Hasbro's already announced the idea that their past seasons, now that they've left Netflix, a lot of those past seasons are going to be going to their YouTube channel, specifically the Power Rangers Kid official channel. How long it's going to take for them to actually roll out all those past seasons, I'm not sure. I do know that they recently put up Dino Charge on there. Now, whether or not they put up the entire season of Dino Charge, I'm not quite sure, but that's really where they're aiming. So I'm not expecting Nick to air past Power Rangers seasons, because I think they're probably are just leaving it up to YouTube to make those available. But I would love that. I honestly would love that, Jessica, but I don't think that's going to happen, unfortunately. And you ask, would you like to see more teams get their new comic book series? Yeah, I would. I don't know if we're leaning towards that. I feel like we're about to embark on maybe some sort of in space theme, perhaps. I'm not quite sure. I mean, we're supposed to be getting a Corone one shot that's supposed to be dropping, or Astronema one shot, I should say. Ryan Parrott has tackled the idea of the planet Onyx, which was very prevalent in space at the end of his recent Power Rangers issue. So they tend to be dabbling in that or teasing that concept a little bit. So I think eventually we certainly will. That would be one that I would be down for, but I'm open to anything else, even if it's like limited series. I would be cool if they wind up wanting to do a small little 6-issue run of a limited series for a random Power Ranger team or something like that, just to kind of catch up, whether it be 5 years after, 10 years after, or just another adventure. Either would certainly work for me. Let's see here. Marcelino Vasquez has a question or a comment. let's see here. It says, I know Beyond the Grid was bad, but in my opinion, I think it could have been better if the story was longer. For an example, instead of having the story containing 9 issues, it could have been 15 to 20 issues, which would allow for more plot holes to be answered, character development, and other stuff to happen. What do you think? I would be okay with that. Whether or not that would expand out the storytelling and make it easier or better read, it's a possibility. I will say this. I feel like with the addition of the Morphing Masters in Dino Fury, it's definitely a 9-issue arc that I want to go back and tackle. I feel like 9 arcs is like 9 issues is a pretty substantial run. I mean, that's almost a full year of comic books, of an actual arc. So I didn't mind the 9 so much. Maybe pushing out to 12. I don't know. I just wasn't necessarily the biggest fan of the writing for it. I didn't mind the artwork. The artwork was rather unique, and loved the new costumes and stuff. Loved the connections to some of the lore, but for me it was a little bit hard to kind of get through. So I don't know if 15 or 20 issues would make it just as hard, or I probably would have fallen off before then. You know what I mean? So who knows, Marcelino? Good theory though. I mean, good suggestion. I wouldn't mind giving it a shot. But I don't know if it would have made it any better though. But yeah, I wasn't the biggest fan of it. You said, I mentioned this before, but never got your thoughts. The original plan for SPD Dino Thunder team up was to have the Dino Thunder Rangers be clones, but Disney vetoed it because they thought kids wouldn't understand cloning and that clones wouldn't feel like it was the same characters. What do you think? Do you like it? Do you hate it? Do you wish this was done instead? Or are you happy with what we got instead? I'm cool with what we got instead. I'm cool with them, the idea of not doing clones. I don't know if it really would have made, like, the way that they are presenting it, or at least the way that you're presenting it, the idea that they vetoed it because they thought kids wouldn't understand cloning and that clones wouldn't feel like it was the same characters. That feels like a little bit of a stretch to me. Again, going back to the idea of treating kids like they're idiots, I think they probably would have understood, but I don't know if it would have made it any better. You know what I mean? So I'm cool with them completely vetoing that and just giving us what they did. And then finally, you said, once you finally read Amit's Samurai Rough Draft, how will you announce it? Will you say, I just finished? Oh, I don't know. I don't know how I'll announce it. I will get back to you on it though, for sure. Maybe I will do my own separate video. That is definitely a suggestion that you put out there. But since you sent me the link, I may do a video on it. I'll keep you posted though. I will definitely keep you posted if I do one. Adrian, what's up, Adrian? He's got a couple questions. How are you, Adam? Hope all is well. My question is, what were some of your your favorite top 5 weapons in Power Rangers and Super Sentai? Ooh, good question. I am a sucker for a sword. I really am. I'm trying to think of the Quasar Saber. For me, was always incredible from Lost Galaxy. Those were always pretty badass. Super Sentai, really underrated, man. I'm going back and watching Power Rangers, or I should say Go Ranger, the first season of Super Sentai. I missed the whip. I missed the whip, and I missed the boomerang that they wind up having in there. Those are 2 weapons I would love to see come back. I don't know how much they're utilized in future seasons of Super Sentai, but I feel like it's completely gone. So the whip is definitely up there with one of my favorites, along with the boomerang for sure. I always loved the original power bazooka for MMPR. I'm a sucker for, I've mentioned this before, I'm a sucker for when you get the opportunity to combine all your weapons into one gigantic bazooka or blaster. Those are always my favorite. I don't necessarily have a top 5. I'm just trying to think of stuff off the top of my head. I always thought the daggers from Trini were pretty legit. Just the 2-handed daggers, those were always pretty cool. Underutilized again, like weapons that we don't even see utilized very much. I feel like we've gotten so used to relying on swords and blasters that we've kind of forgot the idea of bringing some creativity to some of these weapons again. So yeah, those are just a few. What do you think made Power Rangers such a massive hit and still airing to this day with new seasons? How long do you think the show will go on for? Well, Power Rangers was a massive hit because kids had never seen anything like that here in the States before. Big robots, martial arts, kids in school becoming superheroes, right? Like that type of stuff had never really been tapped into outside of maybe like cartoons, if you will. But to see something in that live action form, I thought was brilliant because it was small level high schoolers, right? That went to classes and, had bullies and had groups of friends, but then they would turn into these superheroes and just start whipping that ass and start fighting against evil and monsters and big old Zord battles that we had never seen before, right? It was just so unique, and it just took the world by storm. And it's been around forever. It's been really living off of that success over all those years, man. Clearly the viewers count has dropped over the years significantly from what it was. But I think the fact that it's been around so long, it's been able to stay afloat because it still has that fan base that grew up with it. And then that fan base has kids, and they've allowed Power Rangers to still stick around in some sort of form so that, kids and new generations can kind of get on board with Power Rangers again. Or for the first time and sort of be introduced to the fandom. So they've done some good things in regards to keeping Power Rangers out there. But clearly, I mean, it's definitely not in its heyday that it certainly was. How long do you think the show will go on for? I probably wouldn't have been surprised if, I don't know, if they weren't doing the Jonathan Entwistle stuff, maybe season 30, maybe we would have gotten to 35. I really don't know. But I do think it can still continue to go a long way. I do think that this is just a time where you do need to just inject some new life into the franchise, because the way that it's going now, it's not sustainable. I say it's not sustainable, and yet it's been on for 28 seasons, right? There is a formula that clearly does work. But as far as Power Rangers getting to be what it used to be, or even getting more notoriety, it definitely needs some injection of something new, if you will. But I'm looking forward to seeing what the future of Power Ranger holds for sure. You also say, if Hasbro and Toei stay together, what Super Sentai series do you want to see adapted for the 30th anniversary of Power Rangers? And do you think there will be another pile of garbage like Megaforce or Ninja Steel? So for me, the answer would be Q Ranger. I think the 30th anniversary would be fantastic if they wanted to highlight and pay homage to like In Space season. I would really love for them to kind of utilize that and maybe somehow adapt Q Ranger as a space theme, whether it be a sequel to what we wind up getting in space, or whatever the case may be, similar to how Beast Morphers was kind of like a quasi sequel for RPM. I think that would be pretty neat, honestly, for a 30th anniversary. I believe Simon Bennett has said that they have not approached him yet for the idea of a 30th anniversary. One of the things that I do find fascinating is I know that they're not done with production yet for Dino Fury, so I don't necessarily know if that's something that's on their radar yet, and he's just simply focusing on what is in front of him right now, which he certainly should. And but I am curious if Hasbro will reach out to him and say, hey, we want to know what some of your ideas certainly might be if they do go that route of continuing to work with Toei. If that's the case, I would like to see Q Ranger eventually adapted, if possible. And do I think we'll get series that's garbage like Super Mega Force and Ninja Steel? No, I don't. I don't. I feel the change already. I felt the change in Beast Morphers kind of getting its feet under itself, and I'm feeling that change here, and Dino Fury also, that they are taking some creative risks, doing things a little bit differently. You look at the show, and it has a different vibe to it. Can some series suck? Absolutely. But I feel confident in the writers and the showrunners and the cast and crew that we have. And I think they'll put together something really great if we get a 30th anniversary from them. Doomsday has a couple questions. Which do you really like, but others? Which seasons did you really like, but others didn't? Mine are Operation Overdrive, Samurai, Super Dino Supercharge, and Ninja Steel, both seasons. Which seasons did you really like? I don't know. I feel like the seasons that I like, most people tend to like them. I think the case is I tend to sometimes not like seasons that like other people might like. You know what I mean? I'm not the biggest Lost Galaxy fan, and I get tomatoes thrown at me like fucking Fozzie half the time from the Muppets. Anytime I say that, I should have like a tomato splat on the screen effect every time I say that. That's a tough one. Because I just feel like that's a tough one to answer, Doomsday. I don't know if I can, because I feel like mine tend to be the opposite way around. Seasons that I'm not the biggest fan of, people do tend to like. If I think of something, Doomsday, I'll let you know. Do you agree that Evox Unleashed was kind of like the final battle in Game of I was supposed to say Game of Thrones, in Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, because both were very emotionally charged? Well, well, first off, I didn't like Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. I was not the biggest fan of it. So I don't agree with that, Doomsday, but if you feel that way, that's certainly more than fine. For me, just because they're both very emotionally charged isn't enough for me to feel like there's a comparison there, right? Like, there's plenty of other things that I've watched that are just as emotionally charged that I feel like maybe I can throw in there also to kind of compare it with, right? So there's got to be more comparisons than just an emotionally charged feeling for Evox Unleashed to kind of compare it to anything else. So for me, no. And again, I just wasn't the biggest fan of Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. So I just maybe I just don't look at it as emotionally charged as you do. I mean, I get the idea that, Star-Lord is struggling with his father, right? The idea that Star-Lord might die or sacrifice himself for his team to kind of get away. Yondu sacrificing himself, also type of thing. It just feels on two different levels for me, Doomsday. But if it feels that way for you, man, more power to you. I'm not trying to crap on your love for both of those. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying, for me, Evox Unleashed was just a completely different animal than Guardians of the Galaxy 2 in my eyes. On a scale from 1 to 10, how awesome was Yoshi's reaction to the reveal of his brother, Peter Sudarso, being the Ninja Steel Blue Ranger? Can I say 15? Because, listen, for me, I'm a sucker. I'm a sucker of male bonding and us guys showing emotion. I just am. I don't think we do it enough. I love when I get to see like father and son combinations on TV, or those really in-depth conversations between two guy friends, to get stuff off their chest type of thing. Sometimes just the notion of guys showing emotions, I don't want to say feels taboo, but sometimes people look down on it as like, or people have that wrong mentality of that makes you weak kind of thing, right? But when I see that type of stuff, man, it just gives me hope. It just I really love seeing just those male bonds, and especially just a brother and brother. I mean, how crazy is it to be a Power Ranger and then your brother becomes a Power Ranger the very next season? Just seeing him come down, getting that announcement at Power Morphicon, being embraced by his brother, and the crying, and just how proud of each other they certainly were. Man, it kind of almost gives me a little lump in my throat talking about it, man. It was just it was an incredible moment. If you guys haven't had the opportunity to check it out, please go ahead and do so, because yeah, it made for some great stuff. And if I'm not mistaken, didn't they get the opportunity to be on screen together? If not on screen together, because I'm trying to remember. I can't remember if they've been on screen together. I feel like they probably have. I'm drawing a blank, but I just keep remembering Yoshi being on Super Sentai, and bumping into the blue Ninja Steel Ranger, who technically was his brother, or would eventually be his brother at the time. I just thought that was pretty gnarly how they kind of pulled that off. So I thought that was pretty neat. But if I had to put on a 1 to 10, 15 for sure. I'm Handsome Dude's got a couple questions. Do you think the Gold Dino Fury Ranger will show up right after Izzy and Javi, or somewhere down the line, perhaps after or before the mid-season hiatus of season 1, especially with Garcia's siblings are showing up 4 episodes in, first time in a long while? I'm thinking Gold Dino Fury. I'm thinking maybe when we return from hiatus. If not, then at the very tail end. I mean, I think didn't Abraham become the Red Ranger like episode 9 or episode 8, like that very last episode or something like that? So I would say either the very last episode of the first half of this season or when we come back from hiatus. That's where I'm leaning towards. You also say, now that Zenkaiger is here as the new Super Sentai series, what are your overall follow-up thoughts on Kamen? And what things do you wish were different or improved on? Honestly, the only complaint that I have about Kamen is the reveal that Juru's abilities was just a lovely coincidence. I just call bullshit on that. I just call bullshit on that. It's just one of those things where all season long, they've really built up the mystery of this connection between Juru and King Oridan, even with Garza, how he's able to see these premonitions and stuff. They just really hinted at there being a much bigger overall picture. And I just was not satisfied with the conclusion of, well, you don't know how it happened? Well, you know what our suggestion is? Lovely coincidence. No, get out of here with that shit. I'm sorry. Outside of that, though, loved it. It's not a season that I think is going to punch you in the face or like blow your mind, but it's such a good and fun and entertaining season of Super Sentai that it's one that I definitely would recommend to everybody. Just from the characters were so incredibly unique. Seeing Juru, who very much was not a leader in the beginning of this season, to see his growth into something amazing, which felt very Messiah-like, right? Just the impact that he's had on his entire team, to see him not only grow himself as a leader, but to put his people in positions to win. Absolutely love that. Tommy Tomo was great, sort of as the planner, or he honestly could have been the leader of the team. But as they point out, the idea that he's humble enough to step aside and realize that Juru is the leader of this team and that everybody has their role to play. And Tommy Tomo understood that, and he allowed everybody also to have those roles to play when he came up with these brilliant plans. So Shiguru, for me, absolutely love Shiguru. his intense emotions, his acting performances, such a cool dude from time to time, right? But he was always the seductive type also, you know what I mean? Like, Shiguru is just all over the place for me, man. And I love his energy. I always loved his energy. Cena was just absolutely adorable. Her relationship with Mach just had me rolling half the time. Loved her personality, her facial features. I wish we actually got the opportunity to see a little bit more of Cena for sure. She definitely didn't seem like she was a pushover, which I absolutely loved. Always stood her ground, was very firm about her beliefs, if you will. I loved how she just perfectly fit into this role. And the same thing with Seo. Like, Seo was just absolutely adorable, but she also had these moments where you didn't want to mess with her at all. She was a brilliant mind, very intelligent woman, and definitely has some ferocity behind those eyes for sure, man. And I really loved it. I thought there was just a really great cast. The storytelling was on par to have us with a great sort of personal storyline between Planet Crystallia and the royal family, right? Having so much Crystallian lore included in here. Like, I haven't even seen the Kamen movie yet, where they fight Nemajo or Minjo. I can't remember her name off the top of my head, but I still want to see that to add to the story of Kamen, if you will. I love just the topics that were tackled in here, the fun that the cast and the crew just certainly had. Again, it's not a season that just blew me away like this is the best season ever, but damn if it was not entertaining with some incredible action sequences, some great Zord battles and sequences also, and just some really personal storytelling that mixed in some great fun and adventure. And a lot of encouragement, and some really great positive vibes that it sends. And I just thought it was a great way to kick off not only the Reiwa era, but just a new Super Sentai season, and giving us something unique with a great combination of a vehicle and jewel themed. It just really all worked out for me. So if you guys have not had the opportunity to check out Kamen, please do yourselves a favor, man. It was I had a fantastic time, to the point to where, as excited for Zenkaiger as I certainly was, I definitely was not ready to see Kamen go. Like, I literally had to watch Zenkaiger 2 or 3 times before I actually just got rid of some of my personal feelings about Kamen still being around, or comparing Zenkaiger to Kamen, right? I had to really tune myself out a little bit and understand, brand new season, let's see what these creators are certainly going to give us. But yeah, Kamen is definitely going to be up there with a series that I continue to recommend to people for sure. So far in Dino Fury, do you think, and this is also from I'm Handsome, so far in Dino Fury, what do you think has changed significantly since the show began? And what were your initial thoughts when Real Soldier was first announced to be adapted into Dino Fury? I was not pleased. I was not pleased. I remember when the Illuminati broke the news that, and for those of you who want to know what Illuminati has gotten right before, when they broke the news of Real Soldier being adapted, I was very much a part of the fandom. Was like, no, not dinosaurs again, guys. No. But then when you take a step back and you realize, like, hey, if they're going to be adapting it, they're going to be taking the Super Sentai footage, which means the suit action sequences along with the Zord battles. And it started piquing my interest a little bit more. Like, I know we're doing dinosaurs again, but damn, if you're going to do dinosaurs again, why not pick the best action and the best Zord battles out of a series and utilize that to catapult another dinosaur series? And so I just had to start trying to tune my mind to be a little bit more open-minded about what we were going to be getting, and giving our writers and the crew the chance to tell their particular stories, right? As much as we've seen dinosaurs utilized season after season, Hasbro wanted to take a stance and saying, you've seen Disney dinosaurs, you've seen Saban dinosaurs, but you have never seen Hasbro's dinosaurs yet. And that's exactly what they're showcasing us here also. So yeah, I do remember when Illuminati broke that news, nobody wanted to believe it. And here we are today with Dino Fury. What do you think has changed significantly, though, since the show began? I'm assuming you're maybe not really understanding. I'm just wondering, if you mean just from the show from past seasons, or if you mean from its Super Sentai counterpart. Well, first and foremost, the biggest change that I've noticed immediately is the no masters. It's almost feels as though they've taken that concept and the idea of the mentor, the master that's there to kind of help the real soldiers or see our Dino Fury team come into their own, was taken away, but they've clearly have put that in Zato, right? The real soldiers very much seemed like a group of people that were training to be in a particular role, but maybe their masters were taken away from them maybe a little bit too early, right? So it felt very much like a team of real soldiers that had to kind of forge their own path, if you will. Whereas here in Dino Fury, it feels very much like they've taken that concept of the masters and they've kind of put that all into Zato and have given the Dino Fury Rangers somebody to rely on and count on to help push them into understanding and becoming a new formidable force when it comes to Power Rangers. I'm really hoping that, just sidebar here, I am really hoping that when it comes to Dino Fury, just based off of the first couple of episodes, seeing the impact of Zato's team kind of being the first sort of Power Ranger team 65 million years ago, I am kind of hoping that maybe that's a concept and idea of history, especially when you're including the morphine masters to have a hand in creating Power Rangers that far ago. I am hoping that there is a little bit of that lore, like original lore of Power Rangers and the morphing grid and things like that, put into like Jonathan Entwistle stuff also, you know, kind of as like a new origin story or beginning of the Power Ranger franchise, in a sense. I would like to see if that's utilized at all. Let's see, we got 4 more sets of questions. You guys came through with the questions here. What do you think? This is from AJ. What's up, AJ? What did you think of the premiere of Zenkaiger? I really enjoyed it. I truly enjoyed it. I don't know if it blew me away like maybe some other people, but I definitely had an enjoyable time watching it, enough to watch it like 3 times and enjoy it each and every time. I still want to give the series some time to breathe a little bit because it seems like a little bit of a slow burn when it comes to the introduction to a lot of our characters. But the villains in the Tonji Tendo really excite me. I love the design that they came up with. Feels very Machine Empire to me a little bit. The idea of them wanting to capture all these different parallel worlds, but the one that they tried to capture in the Kikaitopia just happened to maybe escape them a little bit and merge with Earth. And now instead of trying to confine Earth, now they come up with the idea of like, hey, maybe we should just take over and allow this to be our territory. I think that's a really cool concept and the idea. And I really love, and I talked about this heavily in our Zenkaiger review, because we do Zenkaiger reviews here for you guys. There will put, I won't put a link in the description box below, but if you want to go ahead, maybe I will. But if you do want to go ahead and check out our YouTube page, our Zenkaiger episode 1 review is up there. I think it's almost like over 700 views. Let's push that to 1,000 views, guys. If you haven't watched it, hit that like button on that video too and check it out again. But one of the things that I loved about this show was probably the Kikainoids, and specifically in Jurin, because I love the dilemma of Kikainoids facing off against Kikainoids. Not only that, but how people view them. You know, it's interesting to me to see Jurin very early on in the episode getting along with the humans of Earth, right? Wanting to party with them and things like that. And then all of a sudden to see your kind come in and start an invasion. And then the same people you were just hanging out with all of a sudden turn on you too, because now they see you as an enemy. I think it's just really impactful stuff, because Jurin's like, I'm my own individual, right? I feel like in certain I don't want to say specifically in today's climate, but it's the idea that sometimes people tend to judge groups of people based off of just one interaction that they've had, right? Or, you know, the idea that despite them having a great time with Jurin, they automatically base their opinion of what Kikainoids are because of the action of those guys. And they immediately forget what they just experienced with Jurin and become afraid of him. And it's very much a case of one, not fearing what you don't understand, but also the idea of judging somebody, the idea of lumping them into a category that they don't belong in because you've had an experience with somebody like that. You know what I mean? And I love just seeing Jurin still, despite people looking at him and being afraid of him, still going out there and saving somebody's life. You know, it just felt very first natured for him, despite the fact that now he's kind of categorized as one of those mean people or one of those evil people, and him having to showcase that he's not like that. And I just thought that was really, really impactful stuff, because I feel like we can take that same situation and incorporate it into our lives today, and what we see on the news and how people treat each other these days. You know what I mean? It's pretty crazy. It's pretty crazy, and I loved how that was utilized. And I also love the fact that somebody like Kaido recognizes that, right? That yes, there are people that are immediately going to hate you because you look like something different, but you got some people that are going to accept you and see you for who you are in the inside and the good that you do, and recognize that and allow you and give you the opportunity to prove yourself. And the fact that he's like, hey man, here you go. That's if that's not a hero deed, I don't know what is. And I just thought that was absolutely brilliant. And of course, there's some great mysteries involved, right? His family, his parents missing and things like that. So I'm excited to see it. I'm excited to see it. I can see why Jurin and Kaido become such great friends, and I'm really excited to see Gaon and then Majin eventually introduced, who we did get to see a brief cameo for in the first episode. But I enjoyed it. Again, it didn't blow me away, but there are definitely some aspects of the show that I'm really looking forward to. The only thing that really threw me off a little bit was probably the second form, or maybe that's the third form of the Kikainoids, when we see Jurin. Love the transformation. The Henshin sequence was beautiful. The action was incredible also. But when Jurin grows, it's cool to see him grow like that and utilize his weapons. But then when he goes into his animal form kind of jarred me a little bit, because I wasn't the biggest fan of the special effects. But Zord-wise, when you're in your actual Zord forms and stuff, in your mechas, I should say, it looks good. It looks good. So I'm definitely going to give it another. I'm definitely going to watch it. We're definitely going to give you guys our thoughts and our reviews each and every week. But I'm sure the season will continue to get even better. So we'll see what happens. We'll cross our fingers. You also say, with episode 4 being delayed a week to finally introduce Izzy and Javi, how do you think they join the team? Do you think they will be hesitant at first, or even understand why they were chosen to be Power Rangers? Would be cool if Warden Buzzkill was in trouble and his siblings then got their powers. Possibility. I could see that happening, AJ. The idea of Warden Buzzkill, their father maybe being in jeopardy, right? Homeboy is in the park quite often, circling around Dino Henge to make sure nobody is doing what they're not supposed to, right? So maybe he bumps into, a Sporex beast or Void Knight himself, and his kids got to come to his rescue, or maybe the Rangers do, and then his kids stumble upon what's happening, and they fall into the fight themselves. I don't know, but I'm really eager to see. Or again, the other theory that we put out there, maybe they have some keys of their own already, right? I don't know. I'm not necessarily leaning towards that idea, just because I feel like if they had the keys, maybe they would already have utilized them. But if they don't have the swords to morph or anything like that, or the actual equipment, they may not be able to. Zato has mentioned the idea of that he's very much under the impression that there are no other Rangers out there, that the other keys might have been lost. But if I recall, it was Zolan that had the 2 keys and threw them to Amelia and Kai. So part of me is wondering, does she have the other 2 that supposed to go that way, or have those keys been lost and maybe now found already by Javi and Izzy, and they just don't know what to do with them? So we'll see what happens, AJ. What were some of your favorite 6 Extra Ranger introduction episodes of the franchise? I loved the Lightspeed Rescue one, Titanium Ranger. I thought that was really badass. That was pretty cool for me. I also loved, was it Trey from Dino Thunder? I don't know what's up with my internet these days, man. It's been having me do these damn captions. Like anytime I want to look something up or go to a new page, it's like, hey man, we gotta make sure that you're not a Trent. I'm sorry. Trent, that's what I meant to say. Trent. Yeah, Trent was pretty awesome as a 6th Ranger. I mean, look, I'm always gonna love Tommy Oliver. Who doesn't love the idea of a badass Ranger coming in and kicking some ass? And quick honorable mention goes out to Psycho Green too. I meant to maybe put him on the list of the lineage of the Green Rangers that Tessa Rao was certainly going to be in. But those were just some of my favorites. This is from Johnny Marrero. Do you believe, judging the hype for episode 4 with the new Rangers of Dino Fury, we can expect original fight scenes? Yes, I'm sure we're probably going to get a ton of original fight scenes all season long. But yes, I do expect that. Once Nick's contract expires, do you think the future seasons of the live-action PR-oriented PR... Hold on. Once Nick's contract expires, where do you think the future seasons of the live action kid oriented Power Rangers series will go? I wouldn't be surprised. Okay, you said live action. Okay. Because I don't necessarily think Nickelodeon will be without Power Rangers. I would be interested to see if there's a certain Power Rangers show that gets thrown over there. You know, Hasbro talked about the idea of being flexible with a ton of streaming services that are currently out there. One of the things that they've highlighted was that they want to be able to spread their wealth, you know, that they don't, it's really like risk management. You don't want to put all your content onto one place. You want to kind of spread that risk around, if you will. Paramount Plus would not shock me. They seem to be doing some pretty big things right now in regards to building up their streaming service. Paramount Plus comes to mind for me, and Netflix still comes to mind for me. So I would probably put it up on those two if I had to guess outside of Nick. And maybe Nick will eventually either keep the kids show or maybe get the animated show. Who knows? But I'm cool with wherever they send it to. But if I had to pick right now, and I have the option to change my point of view as we get closer, right now I'm sticking with Paramount Plus or Netflix as my two suggestions, my two guesses. And you say, if Hasbro does expand new Power Ranger content or new projects like the upcoming animated Transformers series for streaming services like Netflix or main channels like Nickelodeon, do you think we could see an animated PR season and maybe, dare I say it, a Danger Force crossover arc with Dino Fury? I mean, they do have Nakia Burris as Mika and Miles' mother. What do you think, man? I don't, Johnny. I'm sorry. I don't. I think it would be really cool. But I don't see the Danger Force crossover arc with Dino Fury. I don't know where Danger Force films. I don't know if that films in New Zealand or not. And so because of that alone, you know, they've already talked about the idea that crossovers may be kind of limited, cameos may be rather limited this time around this season. I'm still expecting a few surprises here and there. We'll see if we get them or not. But if you're looking for crossovers and things like that between Danger Force, a show that Nick does produce, and Dino Fury, a show that Nick doesn't produce, I just don't see. I know you're a big fan of Danger Force too, man. I know you really want to see that, but I just personally don't think so. Maybe I'm wrong though. I mean, but if it does come somewhere else, I don't know. I'm just not gonna say I don't think it'll happen with Dino Fury. I definitely don't. I think they're probably just gonna go in a completely different direction and do something else. So I'm not expecting it. But I do expect to see an animated PR season. I mean, they have announced it. It's not like it's a speculation anymore, right? Hasbro has come out and said live action premiere, like for premiere TV, a movie, kids stuff, and PR animation. So it's definitely happening for sure. Let's see here. Dino Fury's got a couple questions. I don't really do top 10s right now. Top 10s is like, especially like kind of coming off the top of my dome. Yeah, I'm not going to do the top 10s as of right now. I do have a top 5 morphing sequences that I'm probably going to do here rather soon. I don't really do too many top 5s, top 10s, but sometimes I'm motivated to, for sure. Maybe I'll keep some of these ideas that you're putting out there into the world, Dino Fury, and maybe utilize that into future editorial videos that we do. What storyline from past Power Rangers and Super Sentai would you like to see used again that hasn't been done in a long time and not just a direct copy? The Psycho Rangers. I really would like to see, whether it be exactly the Psycho Rangers or another group of villains along those lines. Heck, I would always love the idea of maybe seeing like a one Ranger team face off against a group of evil Rangers, and then maybe slowly redeem them back over to the good side, if you will, and actually form an entire team of Power Rangers by the end of the season or something like that. What was your reaction when the R-rated Power Ranger fan film went viral? And did you think it was a cool adult version of Power Rangers, or was it like an insult to the franchise? Even though producer Ali claimed he never knew the show was still on the air. I mean, if he didn't, it wouldn't surprise me. I don't think a lot of people don't know that Power Rangers is still on the air, to be honest with you. Like, my girlfriend didn't like it. That still comes on. There are plenty of people that don't know that, or probably didn't know that at the time. Did I think it was an insult to the franchise? No, not at all. I think it was just a producer's creative vision as to what he wanted to see when it came to Power Rangers. You know, darkening it up a bit, managing to get some really great actors on board. Katie Sackhoff, anybody? Homeboy from Dawson's Creek was in there also. I really enjoyed it. Very adult, very dark. But for us adult fans, it was like, that's pretty badass. Do I need a series like that though? Absolutely. I absolutely not. I don't need a series like that. I don't need them to. But I don't mind the idea of somebody wanting to be creative and dabbling in that side of Power Rangers a little bit, you know, darkening it up. I'm never going to insult somebody for taking a stab at doing Power Rangers a little bit differently. It's a fan film. It's a fan project. It's not like it's a official canon or anything like that. So I don't think people should get upset if somebody wants to take a more of a darker turn when it comes to its Power Rangers. Just something that he prefers, and I really enjoyed it. I really did. It was shocking. Great swerve at the end for sure. Great types of storytelling. Great production value. I mean, you could really see the effort that was certainly put into it, and so for that, I really recommend it if anybody hasn't had the opportunity to check it out. I can't remember the gentleman's name, but yeah, the R-rated Power Ranger fan film. It definitely got people's eyes and got people's attentions. Power Rangers and Tokusatsu. This is from Power Rangers Legacy. What's up, Power Rangers Legacy? We know that Hasbro now owns the entirety of Power Rangers. Do you think Saban had control over Beast Morphers like during the second season, especially during the Dino crossover? Like, so many things unexplained like that, like what Jason has been doing, Grid Battle Force having all the Ranger gear, etc. No, I don't believe so. I think he might have been just maybe a creative consultant by that time after he wind up selling it off. But I know Chip Lynn, I believe Simon Bennett said that Chip Lynn has had that story for years, that he had been putting together for Beast Morphers for a rainy day. You know what I'm saying? Like, if that was a season that they were eventually going to adapt, he had a story and an outline ready. When that opportunity arose, they took full advantage of that. So I don't know exactly how hands-on Saban certainly was with Beast Morphers, but I know it's a storyline and a season that Hasbro inherited from Saban. But once you start getting into second seasons and things like that, that definitely feels more like new crew stuff, like direction of the new crew. And so no, I don't think Saban had too pivotal of a role to play when it comes to that. I think it was just maybe what Chip Lynn had kind of already lined out and things like that. So I mean, maybe that is a little bit of Chip Lynn and Saban together, having their stuff, there's that particular story told. So you might be onto something, Power Rangers Legacy. But I've always felt like he was always more of a creative consultant, like that, or like an outsider kind of looking in after the thing was sold. But based off of how old, or I don't want to say how old, but based off of what Chip Lynn had already prepared for Beast Morphers, I don't know, maybe that was a Saban sort of mindset. But even then, it feels like all the connections that we wind up getting didn't even feel like Saban would make that effort. You know what I mean? To kind of put that on the screen. But maybe I'm wrong. What were some of the things that Go Busters did right than Beast Morphers and vice versa? And would you like the Beast Morphers cast to come back for a team up in the future? I would love them to come back for a team up in the future. I don't know if I've been begging to hopefully get one for Dino Fury this season. But with the pandemic and having to bring that entire crew or team over, I mean, maybe it's just one or two people. Maybe it's not in the entirety of the Beast Morphers cast, right? Like maybe there's a certain story that's being told that only requires maybe one or two of the team members. But I would love to see the cast come back for Beast Morphers for sure. And one of the things that I've said in Beast Morphers a while back was like, if there was any Power Ranger team that I was really interested to see how they grow and follow them over the next few years, it definitely would have been the Beast Morphers cast. I love their chemistry and just their personalities, even outside of being a Power Ranger. Some of the things Go Busters did right. First and foremost, the one that I think that I loved about it, they did right, was the use of the Buddy Roids, aka the B Spots. Go Busters just did an incredible job of incorporating their buddy roids seamlessly, making them a part of their everyday lives, emotionally, action wise. I mean, you couldn't go anywhere without seeing the buddy roids in an episode. And I love just the depth that it winds up adding to each of the characters, really allowing them to shine a little bit more, really dig deep into some of their personality traits and their struggles and their celebrations and things like that. So the usage of buddy roids for me was probably the most obvious thing. As far as maybe and also I do miss the idea of the countdown from from Go Busters. I wish Beast Morphers had included the countdown, because for me it just added a extra sense of tension, having to get something accomplished or done before one of the enemies would arrive or something like that. So those are really the only two things that I liked. I mean, I think they're both great seasons. I truly do. I do give the edge a little bit more to Go Busters, but again, that's not taking anything away from Beast Morphers. I just think the storyline overall for Go Busters was just a little bit more solid. But damn, if I didn't enjoy the emotional ride of Go Busters. I thought they handled. I thought Go Busters handled Enter and Escape a little bit better than they did with Blaze and Roxy. I will say this: I loved Roxy. I thought Roxy was utilized so well in the first season, but you could tell that they almost became forgetful by the end of by the second season of Beast Morphers. So yeah, to answer your question there. Let's see here. Do you find it odd that we are now just starting to have a female Green Ranger in Dino Fury, while Kamen, which just ended, also had a female Green Ranger? Finally, what were your most memorable thing about Kamen? Yeah, I mean, that is pretty interesting, huh? That Kamen just had a female Green Ranger, and now we're getting the opportunity to have our female Green Ranger. I do wonder if that means like, hey, we're not getting the Kamen adaptation, or not getting any Super Sentai adaptation after this. So let's plant our flag here. I don't know if it's that, or maybe it's they saw what Kamen was doing and they're like, you know what, maybe we should do that also. Or maybe it's just a case of like, hey, this team is a sausage fest, guys. One girl, 4 guys. Like, nah, we gotta add some life to this. And I felt like that's what Simon Bennett mentioned in some of his past interviews, was the idea that, looking at the cast and looking at the characters that had been in Real Soldier, you want to have a little bit of a injection of diversity and inclusion in your team, and so I do think that's probably the true reason as to why they decided to go ahead and make the Green Ranger a female in here, to get some more lady representation. You know what I mean? And as far as what my most memorable thing about Kamen, probably the team, probably the characters. I really loved all of them, and together. Like, for me, the action and definitely the cast. I thought they worked so well together. Each of the characters had such great personalities and things that you can connect with. So for me, it would probably be the action and definitely the characters, for sure. Super memorable. And then last but not least, from Loyal herself, if Hasbro and Toei stay together, would our fan adaptation plans for Tokyuja and other Sentais be all for naught? I mean, I don't know why. I mean, you're creating them just to create them, aren't you? Like, that's your own creative juices that are flowing right now to create something. Just because Hasbro and Toei aren't doing that anymore, doesn't mean that you can't continue to dabble in making your own adaptions. You know what I mean? Nobody's certainly stopping you. It's not like Hasbro's going to be like, halt what you're doing, L'Oreal. You cannot do those. And no, keep doing what you're doing, girl. Nobody's, be creative. That's how, just keep doing your thing. Juru would tell you to keep being creative in sparkleization. You know what I'm saying? Like, he would tell you to keep doing it. So don't worry about it. For Cure Ranger, my friend and I call them Power Rangers Star Guardians. Ooh, they're leaders of the Galactic Council. That sounds epic. I like that. Star Guardians. That's pretty badass. Like it, L'Oreal. All right, guys. I think other than that, I think that's going to do it for our live viewer questions. So thank you very much, guys, for everybody that participated today. Sorry if those went long. I'm telling you, man, we getting more viewers, getting more live viewer questions each and every week. So thank you very much, guys, for continuing to come through. And especially, again, if you're in the live chat and you're chilling through and listening to some of these conversations and discussions that we're having, if you love our content, hit that like button, guys. It definitely goes a long way, I promise you. So thank you very much for your guys' continued support. I will wrap this up with just going over a couple of comments real quick, just to see what you guys are saying here before we say farewell to everybody. This is from Trent. What's up, Trent? Appreciate you coming through. Trent Deno, are you related to Hunter? Adam, what do you think about the 2017 movie fight choreography? I think the movie to be $100 billion budget, the movie, the choreography was weak. I like the Disney era fight choreography was the peak. To be open with you, Trent, the fight choreography that we see for the 2017 movie is not the complete fight choreography. A lot of that actually got edited out and taken out of the movie. If I'm going based off of just what I saw in 2017, then yes, absolutely weak. I definitely would have loved to have seen a lot more of it. And I think that's where the movie kind of failed us as Power Ranger fans. Great development with the characters. I appreciate that. I wouldn't want to take anything away from that, because for me, it made me really enjoy and love that movie as much as I did. But the movie forgot to be Power Rangers. And that includes great Zord battles and amazing action sequences. And there are some things that they sacrificed. And unfortunately, the fight choreography was sacrificed. There's a video on YouTube, if you can find it, the 2017 Power Ranger fight choreography. See if you can find it. There's like 1 or 2 demo reels of the fight choreographers putting together the fight sequence for 2017. Incredible. Great stuff. Why it was cut out and edited out of the movie, mind-boggling to me, to be perfectly honest with you. But if you look at that, you will definitely see that 2017 film was coming correct. Like they were coming to bring it, and unfortunately, it was taken away from us. I don't know if it got lost in translation with a bunch of over CGI putties or whatever the case might be. But what we got in 2017. Fight choreography was not supposed to be it. There was a ton more to it that I think people missed. So I agree with you. The Disney era was incredible. I do think that we're going to be getting some more of that fighting style back here in Dino Fury. But that the 2017 movie had a great fight choreography, and unfortunately they cut it out. Marcelino, he says, I don't think Toei or uses whips and boomerangs because they aren't as marketable as swords and blasters. I mean, I get that, but that doesn't mean that you can't get creative with it. I mean, if somebody brought in a whip and a boomerang and you had somebody that knows how to handle it well and is really well trained with it and can utilize those weapons in incredible fashions, I think you can get people to get on board with the idea of like, damn, that boomerang is legit. That sword is legit. Like the idea of creating a dagger here in Dino Fury, man, I'm so glad that they did. I know it's like the small cousin of the sword, but I love the fact that we're getting at least a unique weapon here in Dino Fury. So yeah, you're probably right. Maybe they aren't as marketable as swords and blasters are, but I would just say market it better. You know, make it worth it. We're in the different century now, or not a century. We're, you know, well, technically we are in a different century, the 21st century now. So let's bring some of those things back and see if we can't add a little bit more flair to them. You know what I mean? Shadow Nova Production says, I think adapting Q Ranger would bring new life into the franchise. It's so different having 12 Rangers. I definitely agree with you. I love the size of the crew. I really do. The only issue that I have with that is I do think it could breathe new life for sure. I do think it would be really exhilarating for fans. But when it comes to 12 Rangers, I will say this: don't tackle 12 Rangers unless you have writers on board that know how to tackle 12 individuals. You know, that's a lot of people to have screen time for 2 seasons worth. And if you're going to have that many people, you got to do justice by them. So you got to have somebody that knows how to work with an ensemble cast, knows how to handle multiple stories all at once, or have them connected with one another. And then I'll be perfectly okay with the idea of doing something like that. Because I do think something like that maybe got away from us with Dino Supercharge a little bit. The addition of a bunch of new Rangers, maybe not everybody getting the necessary shine that they definitely deserve. That type of stuff is kind of hard to pull off, but you got to have somebody that knows how to handle that big of a cast when it comes to your writing. So we'll see what happens though. But if Hasbro and Toei stayed connected, which you guys know, I don't think that they will. But if they do, I would love to see Q Ranger. AJ says, just wish they gave Jason more to do and a little more respect as the original Red Ranger. At least his speech at the end was more important than Tommy's. I mean, I feel like they gave him more respect as an original Ranger for sure. He definitely felt like when Jason was on screen, I definitely felt like he garnered your attention, that he has this aura about him of leader, commanding the screen when he's there. I still love that shot of him flipping up his coin and grabbing it type of thing. I just love that shit. I will agree with you though. I do wish Jason did have more, yes, but I still felt that he came across as the very respected original Red Ranger that had this gravitas about him and gave a great speech to the future Power Rangers. I thought I thought he was handled pretty well, but I get the idea of wanting it to have been more. I totally get it. Matthew, going back to Kara Major, Jiro needed a much better reason for his connection to King Orden. Yeah, I think so too. But it's, you know, it is what it is. But yes. Okay, Shadow Nova, this is great. The ending with Jiro and the King was a Ralph Boner moment from from WandaVision. You know, Ralph Boner, whatever you want to call him. You know, it, like, I will say this, Shadow Nova, I know that really upset some people in the fandom. It didn't for me, because I felt like going into the season, you know, leading up to that particular moment, you know, if anybody had watched our WandaVision reviews, I was already off the bandwagon of Evan Peters being the Quicksilver from the MCU. I thought he was just going to end up being a guy in the town or something like that. And so I love the fact that he ended up being just a dude in the town. I just didn't get my expectations up that high, but I get the idea that some people did. So you're absolutely right. I had my expectations super high when it came to Drew and the King. So that is the moment that's the moment that I experienced. While I didn't experience the Ralph Bonner moment, I felt something similar in King Orden and Drew moment. So that's a great comparison, Shadow Nova. Noah, thank you very much for stopping by, man. Thank you very much as always. T. Jiceberg. What's up, T. Jice? I think we're past due of having an Asian Red Ranger. Amen, man. Amen. We probably should have gotten it. Samurai, to be honest with you. That would be cool too. I just think it's ridiculous that there hasn't been an Asian Red by this point. Yeah, I mean, I would agree with you, man. I would agree with you. It should have been Samurai, but sadly. Adrian, he said, Adam, I'm sad that you included Samurai Green and Super Mega Force Green in the thumbnail, both from terrible seasons. Unless you like both those characters, at least Adam is on there. Listen, there are some things that I just don't have any power over, Adrian, right? And the idea of trying to find a collage for Green Rangers, it was pretty difficult. It was pretty difficult. I was trying to find something with a background. I wasn't trying to find anything with a transparent background. I wanted something that already had a background in it so that would fit what I was trying to represent. So while I know they're not the strongest and the best Green Rangers out there, it is at least a representation of what I'm going for, right? That she's joining sort of this this hall of Green Rangers that have certainly have come before her. So it's more of the premise of what we're going to talk about than highlighting the fan favorite Greens, because the focus really is on Tessa Rao. My thing was just, hey, she's joining the Green Ranger History Club. You know what I mean? So I get it, but trust me, for me, I was trying to find some other Green Rangers. I promise you. I was looking at this. I'm like, damn. It's really just Tommy here, huh? I'm looking around like, Jake. Okay, Hector's there. All right, we got Adam. Okay, I can handle that. We got it. All right, we can do this. So I get it. I get it. Joel's behind the female Red Ranger there on the thumbnail from MMPR. Just trying to represent the idea, like, hey, Jonathan Entwistle. We've been doing such a great job so far, Jonathan. We've been doing such a great job, Jonathan Entwistle, with female representation and stuff. I'm kind of hoping that maybe we get ourselves a female Red Ranger leader at some point in time. So that's just me getting my trying to send subliminal messages. You know what I mean? Adrian says, I heard Austin St. John did have some part in writing of the Dino crossover in Beast Morphers. I had no idea. I had not heard of that before, but I'll definitely look into it now that you mentioned that to me. So Rob does say Blaze and Roxy top the list of missed opportunities in Beast Morphers. Great in season one, but there's just so much more potential for those two in the remainder. Although I will say I did love just seeing Roxy and Blaze have their feud. Like I did love the pushback that those two had, always wanting to top each other, especially in season two. So I do want to show some love to some aspects of season two, but I just missed opportunity, man. Just so much more there, Escaroma, what's up, Escaroma? I like crossover Lost Galaxy and In Space. What's your favorite crossover? Probably Ninja Turtles and In Space. I'm kidding, by the way. I'm kidding. Oh man, I almost want to go back and watch that damn one. Favorite crossovers, I mean, Forever Red is probably one of my favorite crossovers, but if you're looking like at team for team, what was it? Was it In Space and Wild Force? Or was that the crossover? That might have been the crossover, actually, now that I think about it. All right. I think Sunny Shield says Jason deserved way more. That's the OG. Yeah, I mean, I agree with you. I definitely deserved a lot more. Trent, when you get the question, you said you did have a wrestling question. Shoot me that question on Twitter. I'll go ahead and answer you. We'll get into some wrestling talk, man. All right, guys. Yeah, I think Lost Galaxy and In Space was pretty good with the Dead Ranger and the cycle coming back. That's probably one of my favorites, honestly. I'm glad you brought that up, Sonny. Yeah, that's probably one of my favorites. I was like, I know In Space definitely was had a great crossover event. So yeah, the In Space and Lost Galaxy one was definitely one of my faves. All right, guys. I think other than that, that's going to do it for us here today on APlus Morphinominal. So thank you very much, guys. I mean, listen, despite the fact of not having a Dino Fury episode this week, I think we did pretty damn good, having some great topics to talk about and some great discussions and things like that. Thanks to your guys' live viewer questions. Today was the day to like really have a ton of questions because of the fact that we didn't have a Dino Fury episode to certainly go ahead and tackle. But it was amazing to get the opportunity to speak with you guys today. So thank you very much for joining me as always. Tessa Rao, good luck. Chance Perez, congratulations, guys. Looking really forward to seeing new recruits and you guys join the rest of the squad, and continue to show your love, guys, and your continued support, not only for Chance and Tessa, but also the entire cast and crew of Dino Fury. I'm sure they definitely do appreciate it for sure. We will, in fact, be back next weekend, so certainly go ahead and stay tuned every Saturday, as always, noon Central Time right here, guys. If you continue to love our content, hit that big like button, that big thumbs up. And if you are into Marvel and DC and movies and television, we do have ourselves a second YouTube page called APlus Hero Report. Go ahead and subscribe over there and follow us. We will be going live tomorrow, also Sunday at noon Central Time as well, to go ahead and tackle the latest news in the nerd pop culture world also. Again, if you guys also want to go ahead and support the channel in other ways, feel free to go ahead and join our Patreon accounts. Again, you can check us out, patreon.com/APlusOpinions. You get 2 YouTube channels for the price of 1, if you will. You get exclusive content and early access content from APlus Morphinominal along with APlus Hero Report. We've got a ton of different tiers, $1, $2, $1, $5, $10. Have a Discord community there also. So definitely go ahead and check us out that way. And if you can't support the channel monetarily, guys, you can support the channel by sharing our videos, subscribing to our channel, and of course, always hitting that thumbs up button. It definitely goes a long way, guys. But other than that, that's going to wrap it up for us here. We'll certainly be back next weekend with a brand new review for Dino Fury episode number 4 coming your guys' way. And of course, Toku Tuesday, this upcoming Tuesday, as we tackle Tokusatsu and Super Sentai and Kamen Rider, all that good stuff. So do me a big favor, guys. In the meantime, if you want to follow us on social media, we're right here at APlus Opinions, very active over on Twitter as well as Facebook. And you can also check us out on Instagram as well as Twitch for you gamers. And then, of course, subscribe, hit that bell notification, and we'll see you guys next week. So take care of yourselves, take care of each other, and as always, keep it A+. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.